Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are at the final game of April the 28th, and we are in Anaheim Stadium in California. Milwaukee Brewers taking on the California Angels. Starting pitching matchup, John Candelaria for the Angels and Mark Ciardi for the Brewers. Let's look at records for each of the teams. Brewers come into the game 14-4, and the Angels are 8-12. Ballpark effects: singles are 1-5, both lefties and righties, and home runs 1-12, lefties and righties. Pitcher-catcher interface: Candelaria is a -3. He is a -1, but Miller's a -2 for a quotient of -3. Ciardi's a +4. He is a +3, and then +1 from Schroeder gives him the +4. Wild pitch and balks: Candelaria is 0 on both. Ciardi's an automatic wild pitch, but no balk. Ciardi does not have a card. Hello, Ben and Brian B. And I've got two different ways to try to present Ciardi when he pitches. I can go with the old-fashioned computer cutout that I made for him, or I took a screenshot on my phone, and so I'm not sure on the computer which one on the stream, which one shows up better. I'm thinking this still shows up better here. This would have to go way up here probably to make it, why that turned dark on me here. That probably has to go like way up here so you could actually see it. So I'm thinking it's easier to do it on that one. I should have learned from Spokane Steve. He printed this out in black and white, and I think it's a little bit easier in black and white. Unfortunately, the gentleman who made the extra player cards for me, the ones that look like this, he did not include a Mark Ciardi card in that package he sent me, so I had to go off the computer on my own on that one, and of course I don't do it quite as well, obviously. So we will just go with what we have. Somebody who is carded is John Candelaria, the Candyman, veteran of a lot of years. He's going to get the start. This is game 137, the final game of April the 28th. April 29th, we will have, just as a preview, first game from April 29th will be Chicago at Cleveland. That'll be on Saturday night, most likely. Saturday late morning around noonish will be the next game in the Cincinnati Reds replay against the New York Mets. But that's History Maker. This is Strat-O-Matic. So we're underway. And I'm still flabbergasted by all the comments on the Strat-O-Matic Facebook page of all these people whining and bitching and crying because their cars aren't here yet. Wah, call the ambulance. I mean, come on, people. You're not 3 years old. You can wait 2 extra days and it ain't going to kill you. They get on there and whine and say and complain, and somebody else got theirs before they got mine, and it's just almost ready to hide that page for a while because I'm just tired of seeing all that crap on there. Talk about first world problems. There you go. All right, that's my soapbox. All right, so we're ready to go. Paul Molitor against John the Candyman Candelaria. Oh, 2024. Cool. Yes, I did. I certainly did watch the opening day Strat video. I did a couple of them out that I know of. And I watched the one that had like the Hall of Fame and all that good stuff on it. I personally didn't. Hello, Kenyon, in case I missed you. I personally did not order anything for Strat-O-Matic because I don't care about the 2024 season, and 1970 didn't interest me either. And plus, I'm up to my eyeballs in this replay and the History Maker replay, so I wouldn't have time to play them anyway. So if I bought them, they would just sit there and not do anything. I'd probably spend, a couple hours or an hour or so, or whatever it is, separating the cards, putting them in the envelopes, and they'd sit there for 6 months. So what's the point? I'd rather focus on what I've got here. And for folks that want the new stuff, more power to you. Have at it. Have a ball. Play to your heart's content. But just please, just If you've ordered it and hadn't got there yet, just wait. It'll get there eventually. I mean, it's not a conspiracy to make you keep waiting. All right. Enough of that. All right, so we're ready to go. Paul Molitor and John Candelaria. Let's get the numbers on Candelaria. He is 0-2 on the replay, but is a very fine 1.80 earned run average. 25 innings pitched, 19 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. He's just not getting run support. Paul Molitor is hitting .389, 5 homers and 20 driven in. So he's certainly been the catalyst for the Brew Crew. We'll get a 5-10. Right-handed, 5-10's a ballpark blast right out the bat, 1-12. That's a 1. Now you can't see it because it's kind of faded out there, but that is a 1, so that is gone. Paul Molitor is going to lead off the game with his 6th home run of the season. Look at it again. 5-10 against righties for Candelaria is a ballpark blast. It's a 1-12, and that's a 1. So home run for Paul Molitor right off the Candyman on the very first pitch. 6th home run of the season for Molitor. And the Brew Crew jumps to an early 1-0 lead before the seats are even warm. Here's Robin Yount hitting .288. 5 homers, 19 driven in. 2-8 against the lefty is a ground ball to short. Schofield will make the play, 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to send up Glenn. No brags, just facts. And he's hitting .306, 2 homers, 15 driven in. 4-7 against righties is a ground ball shortstop X at Schofield. He's a 2 with an E12. 2 and a 15, he'll get to it. E12. In order to avoid an E12, let's see here. At shortstop, an E12, 3, 15, and 18. Those are the numbers he's got to avoid. And he does just that, so it's another good play by Schofield. And there's 2 away. So after the leadoff home run, Candelaria trying to settle back in. That'll bring up Rob Deere. Speaking of home runs, he's home run or strikeout, it seems like. He's hitting .286, though. 4 homers, 15 driven in. But he has struck out 22 times in 63 at-bats. But he's also walked 13 times. So he is getting on base. 6-8, and that's a 1-13 single. 14-20 is a line out. That's a 10. It's a single for Rob Deere. He's going to help that average a little bit more. He will be held because he does have the asterisk there. Candelaria, again, is a -3, so not sure if he got the lead, he want to go anywhere. So he's not going to try for the lead, but he will have to be held. Here's the first havoc roll of the game. Cecil Cooper, and Cooper hitting .250, 12 for 48, 4 homers, 11 driven in. 6-11, lefty on lefty. He's a ground ball shortstop X. And the shortstop, Schofield, is responsible for holding Deere. He's with the lefty up. He's the one responsible. So he becomes a 3 E12. See if that makes a difference. 3 and a 13, I don't believe it will. 3 and a 13 is still going to be a G2. And again, the only way he makes an error is going to be with his E12. It is 3, 15, and 18. And that's a 15. He will make an error. How about that? Triple fives. How do you like that? A 1-base error, E6 on Schofield. And Deere will take second base on the 1-base error by Schofield. And now the Brewers get a swing on the house because the inning should be over. Here comes Dale Swain, the shortstop, switch hitter. And on the replay, he's hitting .254, a homer and 9 driven in. Swain. 5-8, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So a lot of activity there, but the Brew Crew only come away with the 1 run, which is the homer that led off the game for Molitor. We go to the bottom of the first. Milwaukee 1, California coming to bat. And it will be Mr. Ciardi on the mound for the Brewers. On the replay, Ciardi is 2-0, but his ERA is 7.24. Tells you what kind of run support he's been getting. 14 innings pitched, 18 hits, 6 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So I took a picture of his card on the phone, thinking that might be a better way to do it, but obviously it was not. What I probably should have done is printed this off black and white, and I saw Spokane Steve do that, and that card was much more readable than the colorized version, but this had been printed off a while back, so what are you going to do? Hello, Mr. Robert and Chuck. Good to see you. Dav, good to see you as well. Okay, so let me see on my phone how this thing looks with my eyesight, and if I can see it, hopefully it's pretty good, but we'll see. Little iffy, but I can see the blue, especially against right-handers. I can see the blue pretty well, so that's all you can do when they don't card every player. You know, that's one of the downfalls of Strat. They don't card everybody, and sometimes you got to deal with stuff like this. And Joel Anderson, who was very, very generous, sending me all the printed out versions, just didn't print out Ciardi. He was one of the guys that weren't there, but you can see the difference between my printout and his printout is night and day. So I wish I had that capability to do it myself like that, but I don't. All right, so Brian Downing will lead it off, hitting .333, 6 homers, 17 driven in. Ciardi is a right-hander. That's a 4-9, and that's going to be a home run chance, 1-14. 1-14, but I believe it's a ballpark check on that because it is a pound sign there. And let me double check the card on Ciardi on the computer just to make sure. Yeah, it's 1-16, but it's ballpark home run chance, so it's actually a 1-12. That's a 7 anyway, so it doesn't matter. Downing's going to go deep. That home run there is a ballpark home run check. He's got normal power. It's 1-12. That's a 7, so Downing will go deep for home run number 7. And he tells Paul Milder, anything you can do, I can do as well. You lead off the inning with a home run, I'll lead off the inning with a home run. And it's home run number 7, RBI number 18, and we have a tie game just that quickly. You wonder how long Ciardi might hang around. Pitches like that, he won't be around much longer. All right, here is Wally Joyner. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be a walk. I know it's hard to see on here, but it is a walk right there. So Joyner will draw the base on balls. Chris Basio would be the long relief man if Ciardi doesn't make it very far. Joyner will not be held. And here's Devon White. Devon White is hitting .329. Oops, I'm sorry, that was Joyner hitting .329. My bad. Let me fix this. All right, Devon White hitting .256, 1 homer, 6 driven in. 110 against the right-hander is a ground ball pitcher A. That is going to be a 1-6-3 double play. Turn by the Brewers. That will certainly help Ciardi out. 2 quick outs now for Jack Howell, left fielder. 2-4, and that is a ground ball to second. Easy play for Gantner, and that's going to do it. So in both cases, the leadoff home run is all the teams got. At the end of 1 complete, it's 1-1. And the Candyman back out. John Candelaria. And he'll be facing Greg Crocodile Brock to lead things off, followed by Schroeder and Gantner, bottom of the order. Brock hitting .339, a homer and 14 driven in. Lefty on lefty, 3-6, 1-18 is a single. That's a 17. That's a base hit for Brock. Brock will not be held, will not go anywhere. And here's the catcher, Bill Schroeder. Schroeder on the replay is hitting .237. No homers and 5 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. 5-5 against the right-hander is a split from here to down here. 1-4 is a single, anything else is a line out. That's a line out to short, and that's one away. Schofield snags it. That brings up the number 9 hitter, Jim Gantner, left-handed hitter. Gantner hitting .320 in 50 at-bats. No homers, 4 driven in. .17 against the lefty. That's a 1-16 double. 17-20 is a single. That's an 18. It's a single, 2 stars. And that will put runners on the corners. With only 1 out, Gantner will be held but won't go anywhere. And here is Molitor. Not going to run when you got Molitor up the plate. Infield back for the double play. Of course, Molitor led off the game with a home run his first time up. That's a 4-10, and that's a ground ball third base X. That's going to be to Sensei. He's a 3. Gets a kind roll in the D20. It could be a double play. He does not. That's a 1. That's going to get through for a base hit. Single, 2 stars. It's going to score Brock and move Gantner to third base. Now we're checking for an error. To Sensei is an E23. And to avoid an error, it's a 11, 13, 15, and 18. And he does avoid the error, but the base hit is good. And now runners on the corners, and Molitor is looking to get the lead. He's going to attempt the lead. He needs a 4 through 6 to get that lead. Does not, so he will hold. And here's Robin Yount. Two to 1 Brewers. They're looking for more with 1 out. Infield steal back for the double play. 2-7, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. And the Candyman is in trouble. We'll bring up Glenn Braggs with the bases loaded and 1 out. Braggs grounded to short his first time up. Candelaria would like that result right now. 3-6 against the lefty. You won't get it. That's going to be a 1-12 double. 13-20 is a single. That's a 4. It's a double, 2 stars for Braggs. That will score Molitor and Gantner. 3 runs are in. It's 4-1 Brewers. And Yount will go to third. So Glenn Braggs comes through with a double. It's 4-1 Brewers, and maybe that's why Ciardi's 2-0 with a bad ERA, because of all this run support. Brings up Rob Deere. Infield is in now. Trying to choke off the runs. It's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout, a much-needed strikeout for Candelaria. Striking out Deere for out number 2, and now here's Cecil Cooper. Infield, of course, back to normal for Cooper. Lefty on lefty matchup. 2-6, and it's a ground ball to second. Handled by McLemore to end the inning, but 3 runs come across for the Brew Crew. And we go to the bottom of the second. It's 4-1. So this could be a slugfest, as neither pitcher is all that outstanding. Ciardi back out will face the Sensei, Miller, and Schofield for the Angels. The Sensei on the replay hitting .220, 3 homers and 7 driven in. It's a 3-7, and that's a strikeout. The Sensei out on strikes. 1 away for Daryl Miller. Daryl Miller's hitting .261, no homers, 3 driven in. It's a 2-5 against the right-hander, and he pops it up to short. Swain sucks it in for out number 2. For Dick Schofield, shortstop. Dick Schofield hitting .169 on the replay. Really struggling in 71 at-bats. No homers, 6 driven in. That's a 5-4, and that's going to be a single. It's an It's 2 stars, but nobody's on base. But it will be a solid single. So Ciardi is hoping to get these results off the batter card, not off his card. Schofield will be held, but I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Actually, he might, though, with that +4. That's too tempting not to. So he's a 4 or 5 to get the lead. If he does, it's almost guaranteed. That's a 6. He's not getting. That's a 2. 2 means it's a possible balk on Ciardi, but he's got a balk rating of 0, so no balk there to worry about. So we keep going. But Schofield cannot get the lead. So here is Pettis. 3-6 for Pettis, and he's going to walk, and that's going to keep the inning going. For McLemore, number 9 hitter. McLemore enters the game hitting .239, 2 homers, 13 driven in. That's a 3-10, and that's going to be another walk. So bases are now loaded. Bases are now loaded for Brian Downing. One swing of the bat, and the Angels are right back in this game. A good swing of the bat, they take the lead. That's a 5-4, and that's a single 2 stars, so that's going to produce 2 runs. And neither one of these starters may be around very long. McLemore takes third, but a 2-run single off the bat of Mr. Downing makes it 4-3. That brings up Wally World, chance to put the Angels in the lead. That's a 5-12 to the lefty. It's a ground ball pitcher X, and he is an E0. He's a 3E0, so he's not going to make an error. It doesn't matter whether he gets to it or not as a 3. 3 and a 14 he will, so he's going to get to it. That was out number 3, so it doesn't really matter. The only play he needs to make is to first base, and that will take care of it. So 2 runs come in for the Angels, and at the end of 2, it's 4-3. Milwaukee in a slugfest here at the very beginning of the ball game. Can anyone pitch is the question. Here is Devon White. I'm sorry, not Devon White. The Brewers are batting. It's Dale Swain. Swain struck out his first chance. 2-7 against the lefty. He's going to strike out again. So all this hitting, and Dale Swain is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Here's Greg Brock. Brock singled and scored his first time up. 5-4 is a strikeout. So Candelaria, back-to-back strikeouts. Maybe he's getting in the groove all of a sudden. Maybe he's figured it out. Here's Schroeder. 6-8, and 1-13 is a single. That's a 2. It's going to be a single for Schroeder. And now that means everybody's reached base for the Brewers at least once except for Swain. Here's Gantner. Schroeder not being held. .67 to the lefty. It's a single to center field. Pettis a +1 arm, but Schroeder only runs at a 9, so they're not going to take any chances there. Don't make the third out at third base. You never want to do that. It's a cardinal sin. So here's Molitor. He is homered and singled, 2 for 2. .18 against the lefty. It's another single for Paul Molitor. And now we'll see if the runner can score now with 2. The 1-8 is a single to center, so he's a +1. So let's do the numbers. Schroeder's a 9. There are 2 outs. That makes him an 11. He was not being held, makes him a 12, and the +1's a 13. So they're going to send him 1-13. They're going to send him, and the runners will advance to second and third since there's no cutoff. And he's going to score. So Schroeder scores. Gantner will take third on the throw. And Molitor will go to second on the throw. So a single for Paul Molitor. So even the slow running Schroeder was able to get there with 2 outs against Gary Pettis. Run is in. It's now 5-3. And here's Robin out. 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. 3-7, but that's a strikeout. He strikes out Robin out. So he struck out the side, but in between gave up 3 hits and a run. And we go to the bottom of the third. It is a 5-3 ball game. Favor the Brewers. And back comes Ciardi. He has a 5 fatigue rating, so they'd love to get 5 innings out of him if they possibly could, but Bosio is ready to go 3 or 4 innings if he has to. All right, here's Devon White. That's a 6-9. Switch to everybody left. 6-9 is a fly ball to left field B. I know it's hard to see it on there. I'll have to read it for you. Fly ball to left field B. 1 away for Jack Howell. That's a 6-10. Maybe let's try it this way. Let's see if we can do it this way. See if I can get this to work. Maybe. All right, so a 6-10. Howell's a left-hander. So 6-10 is a ground ball third base X. I don't know how well that's showing up on the computer. Let me take a look here. Trying to find alternate ways to make this thing look better, if possible. That is well, that ring light is really getting in my nerves here. Let's turn that off. 6-10 is a ground ball third base X. Ground ball third base X on the 6-10 from Ciardi's card. Ground ball third base X. So third base is Molitor. He's a 4. 4-1. It's going to get through for a base hit. In fact, it's just going to be a single. And we're checking for an error. He's an E22. He's got to avoid 12, 14, 15, 16, and 18. Which he does, but it's a base hit for Howell. Single for Howell. And Howell will not be held. It's going to bring up the Sensei. Nothing there. 5-10 against the right-hander to Sensei. A 5-10 is a single 2 stars, single with 2 dashes. That's a single 2 stars for the Sensei. I don't know if it would look better to do it this way. 5-10. Maybe I'll try it this way. Let's see if I can. Maybe instead of using the phone, maybe I'll just bring this up higher. 5-10 probably works better, I guess. I don't know. But 5-10, you can see a single 2 stars right there. Single with an equal sign is pretty much single 2 stars. So that's what we got. That's going to put runners at first and third. The Sensei will not be held either. And here's Daryl Miller. Righty on righty matchup. 3-6 for Miller is a walk, and that's going to load the bases. So Miller will draw the free pass. Bases are loaded for Schofield with only 1 out. Ciardi in trouble, big time. That's a 1, chance of a wild pitch, and he's a 20 on the wild pitch rating, so it's an automatic wild pitch, and that will score the run on the wild pitch and move everybody else up into scoring position. Takes away the double play, all sorts of things. It's now 5-4. That's a 5-10, and that's a single 2 stars again And that's going to score both runs. It is now 6-5 in favor of California, and that's going to be it for Ciardi. He can't go any longer, or at least Tom Treblehorn doesn't want to go on with him any longer. Tom Treblehorn is whistling that Elton John song, "I Don't Want to Go On With You Like That." And that's going to be it for Ciardi. And Chris Basio will be coming in to take his place. Ciardi just couldn't cut it. So Basio will be in relief, and he has 3 for a long relief rating. So, and he did pitch some relief before he started getting into rotation. So Basio is now the man. And we can't get the numbers yet on Ciardi because they're runners on base. That's his responsibility. Schofield on base is his responsibility. +1 hold for Basio. So +1, and the +1's a +2. So Schofield can try to get the lead. 4 or a 5 gets in the lead. 7 does not, but that's a 2. Chance of a balk on Basio. And let's check his balk rating. Basio's balk rating. It's not written on the card. I gotta go to the computer to get it. He's a 5. It will not be a balk. So fortunately for the Brewers, that didn't happen. So we reboot. Schofield cannot get the lead. And here's Gary Pettis. 1-8 for Pettis is a strikeout. That's out number 2. So immediately Basio comes in and pays dividends. And here's McLemore with Schofield at first base and 2 down. 1-11, and that's a ground ball to first, taken by Brock to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Angels, and they take a 6-5 lead. And we can get the gory details on Ciardi since the inning is now complete. Ciardi, a horrible outing, to say the least. 2 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs all earned, 4 walks and a strikeout. So obviously a terrible outing. But the Brew Crew are only down by a run. So, and the way they can hit, they are never out of the game. Plus Candelaria is not exactly fooling them either. So never know. But Candelaria now has a lead. And he'll be facing Glenn Braggs. It'll be Braggs. Followed by Deere and Cooper. Braggs doubled his last time up. So 1-3. He's going to ground it to third. The Sensei puts that away. 1 down. And that'll send up Rob Deere. Singled and struck out. 2-6, and he's going to draw the base on balls. He is now the tying run. And he's going to try to get the lead. Needs a 7. Doesn't get it, so he will hold. And here's Cecil Cooper. 6-2, lefty on lefty is a fly ball right field X. That is Devon White. He's a 1E9. So we know he's going to get back, supposedly. So I don't know if I'm back or not. Am I back is the question. Sounds like I am. I think. I don't know if I'm back or not. Yeah, it says I am. So Ben, can you is everybody okay? Am I back now? Okay. I don't know what happened with that. Internet must have been screwy or something. Sometimes late at night, people are on the internet, especially on Friday nights, probably like, maybe using up a lot of stuff. I don't know, but Don't know why that happened. I don't even know what the last thing people saw was. The last thing that happened on my end was Dale Swain walked. So I don't know if you guys got to see that or not. But the situation is there's 2 on. Well, let's go back to the whole inning because I don't know what you guys saw and what you didn't see. Braggs led off by grounding to third. Rob Deere walked. Cooper flew to right. And Swain walked. So hopefully everybody is caught up on that. Yeah, I agree, Ben. And I've got a hello Prague, and I've got a Wi-Fi booster on the other side of this door because I'm upstairs and the router's downstairs. But I got a booster just for this purpose, so it shouldn't be causing those problems. I wouldn't think. If you had a booster, that should take care of things. But hey, what do I know? But I know this only happens, around 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock at night, especially on a Friday or Saturday night. That seems to be the most times that happens. Anyway, we're back up to speed now. Greg Brock. Now I did close down the Strat computer, so I think I'm going to have to just score this thing manually because I don't know. I don't think the Strat computer is going to come back up the way it was. I think I just lost that, and I'm going to have to redo everything manually. So I'll just do that offline because the whole Strat program shut down. So yeah, if I bring it up now, it's like starting a brand new game all over again. So that's not going to work. But I will go ahead and bring it up so I have it ready to go when the video is over. Plus, I can at least get the player stats for you. So at least I won't do any manual entry. I'm just going to bring it up so that it's there to pull stats from. All right, so Greg Brock is up against Candelaria with 2 on, 2 outs. Here in the top of the fourth of a 6-5 game. That's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. And the second baseman is McLemore. He's a 2. 2 and a 13, he'll get to it. E22 for second baseman. Hey, ID, I just came back. I got booted, it locked up on me, and I had to reboot, and now I'm back. So E22 for McLemore. He's going to get an error on 12, 17, and 18. But no error. He'll make the play, and the inning is over. Finally, a 0 inning there from Candelaria. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 6-5 California. And Basio will be coming back out. He got the last 2 outs of the third inning. So now he's back out, starting afresh against Brian Downing. Downing has homered and singled. Whoa, we got hopping dice. Let's redo that one. We got internet problems. We got hopping dice. We got all kinds of stuff. It's a 1-7, and that is a 1-7 double. That is a 7. So right there, 1-7 double. That's a 7. It'll be a double for Downing. He is a triple away from the cycle, and I have never had a cycle in the whole time I've been doing tabletop gaming and computer gaming, and that's been 10 years. And I've never had a cycle. I don't know if Downing is capable of getting a triple on his card. How many triples did he have in real world? He had 3. So let's see. Does he have a triple on his card anywhere? I had to roll a 1-6 with a 1 on a D20. That's the only way to get a triple there. And I guess maybe off a triple off the pitcher's card. Oh, well, he's got triples here. You have to roll a 20 or a 1 on the D. It's not likely, put it that way. Very unlikely to get a triple. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. And ID, I don't know if you missed it earlier, I was on a mini rant about the Strat-O-Matic Facebook page about people bitching and whining and complaining about the cards not being here yet and wanting to check every hour and email Strat to find out where their order is and all this other stuff. Acting like a bunch of 2-year-olds. All right, here's Joyner. Nothing on the Havoc as I drop the D20. That's a 5-7 on Basio's ground ball shortstop X. Downing was not being held, so the shortstop Swain will keep his 3E25 number. 3 and a 14 is good. 3 and a 14 will actually be a G2. So the runner's going to have to hold. Swain's error rating, though, is a 25. So it's got to avoid 6, 8, 13, 15, and 17. And that's a 13. He did not avoid it. Swain in E25 at third base. And that's a 13. And there's a 13 right there with an E1. So E6 on Swain. And that's going to put runners at first and third with nobody out. Joyner will not be held at first base. Yeah, I've noticed that, ID. Well, I did not order this year, so I'm pretty much done with Strat as a company. I'm going to play the cards I've got now, but I don't see myself ordering anything from Strat in the future. I mean, that could change, but they just don't have anything offering that I'd want to get. So I've already got what I want. So, all right, so here's Devon White. Infield is back for the double play. It's a 1-9, and that is a 1-3 triple to 10. It's a single 2 stars, and the hit parade continues for the California Angels. RBI single from Devon White. Joyner goes to third, and it's now 7-4. I'm sorry, 7-5. 7-5. That is truly correct, ID. You have it right on the button. About the only way I'd order anything from them, I think, is if they came out and redid like the 75 season or the 78 season or the 79 season. Something I would really want in Strat that I don't have. Then I might buy it. But 1970 doesn't interest me one iota. I've already got 69 and 71, so what's the point of getting 70? Here's Shaq Howell. And I got so many seasons now I don't even play with, so why would I buy more? Just waste more money. Here's Howell, 6'5". That's an in-home run chance, 1-9. That's a 1. It's gone. Jack Howell, a 3-run home run. And boy, not even Basio can help him here. Brewers are getting manhandled by the California Angels. 4 runs in the inning. It is now 10-5. And Basio is just taking it on the chin. Here is the Sensei. But he's got to take one for the team. 3-6, and that's a 1-6 home run. That's another one. Boy, this Devil Die has come for 1 a whole lot. And the Sensei goes deep as well. It's now 11-5 California. Basio and the Brewers are definitely not California dreaming, that's for sure. Here's Miller, 2-2, and that's a foul out. Foul out to Schroeder for the first out of the inning. How about that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. 4 of them are earned. The only unearned run was Joyner scoring. Everything else is earned. Schofield, 6-6 on Basio. It's a 1-5 double, 6-20 single. So the hit parade continues for Schofield as well. That'll bring up Gary Pettis. And with the score 10-5, I'm not doing any stealing or anything like that. We're going to call the dogs off. 1-9, and that's a walk. And that'll send up the 9th man to bat in the inning. That is Mark McLemore. That's a 2-6 for McLemore, and that's another walk. So that's going to load the bases. And the Brewer bullpen is finally starting to see some activity down there reluctantly because they really don't want to use anybody. Because they got to cover a lot of innings here. So let's see who's got some long relief. Well, I think they're going to go with the guy that they hope will get them out of a tight spot. Very unconventional here, but we are going to the bull. Well, actually, Basio is going to face one more batter. but they're going to bring in a lefty to face Joyner after this. So one more at bat for Bosio, and that's going to do it for him. As the Angels have batted around. Downing, who led off the inning with a double, is back at the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. Infield looking for the double play. He's a triple away from the cycle, but I don't think he's ever going to get the cycle because his triple chances are just way too out of there. 6-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. Center fielder for the Brewers is Yount. He's a 2E6. 2 and a 5. See if he can get to that. 2 and a 5 is an F2. That's going to be a sacrifice fly. And he's an E6. He's got to avoid 3, 4, and 15. 3, 4, and 15, which he does, but it will be a sacrifice fly to center field that will score Schofield. That is run number 6 in the inning, and it's now 12-5. That is out number 2. Wally Joyner up, runners at first and second, 2 outs. Oh, wait a minute. I said I was going to take Bosio out. My bad. I did say that, didn't I? He is coming out. Bosio is out, and coming in is Paul Mirabella, the lefty. So Mirabella is in. And runners, he'll be facing Joyner, lefty on lefty matchup. That is a 3-10. I'm sorry, 3-7 lefty on lefty. That is a look at this. Do I even want to count this? Is it really clutch when the score is this bad? When it's a 12-5 game, do you still consider it clutch? I guess by the letter of the law, you have to consider it clutch because this is a clutch result. Would be an out, but it's got the Omega result right here, 3-7. But when it's 12-5, is it really a clutch at bat? But that's what the rules say, so that's what we go. Base hit's going to score Pettis. Move McLemore to third. Is now 13-5. So doesn't seem like a clutch at bat to me, but what do I know? Here's Devon White. 2-12 against the lefty. That's a fly ball to center. And that's mercifully going to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runs. Making 13-5. Favor the Angels. So we can't get a close game. Hey, Joel. Yeah, it's hard to me that I know the rules don't say it, but it really, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, is it really clutch when it's a 7-run game? But oh well, it's just the way it goes. All right, so John Candelaria obviously salivating over a 13-5 lead will be facing Bill Schroeder, Jim Gantner, and Paul Molitor. All right, 6-9 off of Candelaria is a ground ball to second. McLemore is there, 1 away. Here's Jimmy Gantner. This is going to be real fun to go back and recreate in the Strat computer and do all this. This will take forever to put that in the computer. Here's Gantner, 1-9. Lefty on lefty is a single. So Jimmy Gantner is 3 for 3 from the number 9 position. All 3 singles. Nobody's going to try for a lead or steal, the score being what it is. Here's Molitor. 6-8, and that's a single 1-13. That's a 15, though, so he will line it to short for out number 2. And that's going to send up Robin Yount. Yount. 5-9 is a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So that's it for Candelaria. He goes 5 innings and does qualify for the win. So no matter what he does now, no matter how quickly they pull him, he will qualify for the win. All right, so for the Angels, It'll be left-hander Jack Howell coming back out, and Mirabella back out to face him. Lefty on lefty matchup against Jack Howell, who has singled and homered. That's a 2-7, and he will strike out this time. Jack Howell down on strikes, and here's to Sensei. And in case you missed it earlier, Mr. Robert, between 11 and 12 tomorrow will be the first game in the Cincinnati Reds History Maker road trip in New York, playing the New York Mets and Frank Viola. The Sensei 4-9 against Mirabella is a walk. So the Sensei draws the free pass, brings up Darryl Miller. (4-9), and that's going to be another walk. And unfortunately, unlike inside pitch, you don't turn off the havoc rolls when the score gets bad. You can still roll the havoc rolls every single time somebody's on base. They don't get called off like they do in the inside pitch game. Here's Schofield. He's 3 for 3. 3-10, and he's going to fly to center this time for out number 2. And that'll take us to Gary Pettis. Gary Pettis. 6'5", switch hitter, being right-handed, is a ground ball to third. It's a B, so we'll call it a 5-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. So Mirabella, he's done. And they will now bring out, going forward, they will bring out Chuck Creme de la Creme. He'll be the new pitcher for the Brewers. In the bottom of the 6th. Right now, we'll go to the top of the 6th. It's Candelaria. So we'll get the numbers on Mirabella and Basio. Well, I'll do Basio later because he was so awful. Let's see. Mirabella, 2 walks and a hit. No runs. Let's see. 2 walks. He did allow 2 inherited runners. Got a strikeout. And went 1 2/3 innings. Let's see, I'll do Basio real quick here. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, and a strikeout. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. And he went, see, it's 2/3. It's an inning. Just 1 inning. So horrible pitching. My goals, ID, are to finish 2 full projects, which is what I'm working on. I'm not going to finish them this year, but it's to stick with these 2 projects, the American League replay every single game, and then the Cincinnati Reds 1990 History Maker Baseball every single game. And the NBC Game of the Week coming up next in April will be with Season Ticket. So I've got to refamiliarize myself with Season Ticket and try to get really good at Season Tickets. So that's another goal, is try to not only play it, but try to I wouldn't say master the rules, but at least have a good foundation for the rules. All right. Braggs is out. Facing Candelaria. 5-6, and that's a strikeout. He's not tired yet. This is a fatigue inning starting it, but he obviously isn't tired just yet. Here's Rob Deere. 2-3, and that's a fly ball to right field. So Candelaria is actually settled in. Since getting that big lead, he's relaxed and settled in. Here's Cooper. It's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base. X McLemore is a 2. 2 and a 4. Could be interesting. 2 and a 4. 2 and a 4 is a G3. He'll get to it. E22, he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. And of course, we had Sewer Dice, so let's try again. And he does avoid the 12, so it's a good play for McLemore. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Candelaria. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, and new pitcher coming on will be Chuck Creme de la Creme for the Brewers. And on the replay, let's get what his stats were on the replay so far. Creme. Whoops, where'd you go, Creme? There you are. He is 0-0 with a 3.29 ERA in 3 saves, 14 innings pitched, 15 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And he will be facing bottom of the order McLemore, then the top of the order Downing. Here in the bottom of the 6th of a 13-5 ball game. 110, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. Not sure what I can do to make this 13-5 game entertaining. Maybe I can do another rant. I don't know. But what are we going to do? 2-5. And that's a single for Downing, so he's got 4 hits in the game. And that'll bring up Joyner. 1-4. Ground ball pitcher A, it's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. And Creme gets out of it. So we completed 6. It's 13-5. Candelaria is going to come back out. He has full endurance. He gave up nothing in his weakness inning. So he's got full endurance. And here's Dale Swain. He has struck out twice and walked. So he would like to get the bat on the ball for a change. 5-9, and he does. He flies to center. Doesn't help the cause. Only thing that's going to be more fun than this playing this game out right now is putting it all on the computer and having to relive this all again. That's going to be fun. Greg Brock, 6-7, single to center field for Mr. Brock. And that'll bring up Schroeder. (5-7), and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. And second baseman is McLemore. He's a 2. 2-17. That's going to be a double play chance as long as there's no error. It is a G1. Got to avoid 12, 17, and 18, which he does. So it's a double play. 4-6-3. Double play. And Candelaria is going to pitch 7 solid. Well, not solid, but the last 4 have been solid. First 3 were not anything to write home about, but that's going to do it for Candelaria. He's going to go 7 innings. Going to give up 5 runs. They were all earned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits he scattered. He walked 1, 2, 3 walks. Struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Struck out 5. And we'll figure out who the new pitcher is going to be coming in on the top of the 8th inning. Right now we're at the 7th inning stretch. 7th inning stretch we go. And it's going to be Devon White, Jack Howell, and Doug DeSensei. Yes, ID. I'm sure you gave him all the confidence in the world. All right, since we're moving to the back end here and run out of room, we'll move the cards over here. Chuck Creme to Devon White. 6-2 against switch hitter batting left is a ground ball shortstop X. And that is Swain, and he is a 3E25. 3-5 is going to be good enough. It's a G3. And then E25, he's got to avoid 4, 13, 17, and 18, which he does. So it's a good play for Swain. And White is out of there. All right, Robert, take care. And we'll see how your Mets do against the Reds and History Maker tomorrow. Krim to Howell, 5-4, and that's a strikeout. And believe me, this is one of those games of I like to be playing on a computer and just auto sim the rest of the game to get it over with. But when you do cards and dice, you got to suck it up, Buttercup. Here's the Sensei, 1-8, and that's a ground ball to short. That'll end the inning. So at least the bullpen is getting a little bit better for the Brew Crew. Kind of trying to hold the fort down. And actually, Dan Plesac hasn't pitched in a very long time, so he will come in and pitch the bottom of the 8th just to get some work. Even though he's a closer, he hasn't pitched in a long time. So we'll cap Krim at 2 innings, and he's going to give up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. So we need a pitcher for the Angels for the top of the 8th, and it will be Mike Cook. Mike Cook will come in and pitch. When you got a lead like this, you bring in the scrubs. So Mike Cook is coming on. And on the replay, Cook is 1-0 with an ERA of 0. 10 innings pitched, 4 hits, 9 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Amazingly, though, he has not given up a run. He had a 5.50 ERA in real world. So coming up for the Brewers, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Jim Gantner. To start things off, 13-5. It's been that way since the 4th. 2-9 for Gantner is a hit by pitch. Don't think that was intentional. Not in a 13-5 game, but Gantner still didn't appreciate it. Here's Molitor. That's a 6-8. 6-8 is going to be a walk. So Cook off to a rough start, a hit by pitch and a walk. And here comes Robin Yount. It's a 5-9. That's a fly ball right field. 1 away for Glenn Braggs. It's a 1-7 for Braggs. Struck him out. So 2 down for Rob Deere. 2-12, and that's a strikeout plus injury. So how about that? Rob Deere probably would prefer to miss the rest of the game, wouldn't he? Well, 1-4, and he will stay in the game. Nope, he's going to come out. So Rob Deere has to leave due to an injury. So we need a new left fielder for the Brewers. And let's see who that's going to be. New left fielder for the Brew Crew will be Rick Manning. Rick Manning will take over for Deere in left field. So Deere will leave. Manning will take over in left field in the 8th inning. So Cook, a little shaky there, but got through it. And now Dan Plesac will come in and pitch the bottom of the 8th just to get some work in, because when they've won big, and when they've lost, they've kind of lost big. So he really didn't have a chance to pitch much because the situation just didn't dictate it. So Dan Plesac, if I can find what I did with this card, I just had it a second ago. Now I got to remember what I did with it. Oh, here it was stuck behind somebody else. There we go. Dan Plesac. So on the replay for Plesac, just to get his numbers, Plesac is 1-0 with a 0 ERA, 4 saves, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, and 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. So he's only pitched 6 innings so far, and we're almost through the month of April. So that tells you he needs work. And he'll be facing Miller, Schofield, and Pettish. That's a 1-9 against the lefty, and he's hit by the pitch. So now warnings have gone out, and Plesac, that may have been intentional. He may have just been pissed. So, plus his own guy got hit, so he's probably protecting Gantner. So the umpires have issued warnings. Any more of that stuff, and somebody's out of there. So Plesac now to Schofield. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. The brand new left fielder. Anytime you get a new fielder, the ball will find you. Fortunately for the Brewers, Rick Manning is a 1 in left field. He's a 1 in an E15. So we know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E15, which that could be problematic. That's pretty high for an outfielder. E15, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 6, 12, 14, 17, and 18. And that's a 12. I don't think he avoided it. He's a 12, and he is an E15. And that is a 2-base error on Rick Manning. He's an E15, and we rolled a 12. That is a 2-base error on Rick Manning. That's going to send Miller to third base, and Schofield, I'm sorry, E7, not E8, but E7. That's going to send Schofield to second. So second and third, nobody out. And here's Gary Pettis. Infield is in. What the hey? 4-12, switch hitter batting right-handed. Ground ball first base C with the infield in. I believe he's got a hold. But we'll go to our handy-dandy chart. Ground ball C, runners second and third, infield in is a 1. Batter out, runner holds. Had the infield been back, that would have scored the run. So it worked out to their favor. It's going to go 3. Usually when I do a C, it's 3-1. But with the infield in and to freeze the runners, it's not one of these plays where the first baseman has to go range somewhere and do all that. So just to make it realistic, it's just 3 unassisted. So here's McLemore. Infield still in. 1-8, and that's going to be a line out to third. So Plesac is 1 out away from getting out of this mess. He's got to deal with Brian Downing, who is perfect on the night. He's 4 for 4 with a sacrifice fly, a home run, a double, 2 runs scored. He's pretty much done it all. Downing, Plesac to Downing. That's a 2-9, and that's a strikeout. And so Plesac gets out of the mess. How about that? Pitches around the 2-base error by Manning. So he pitches 1 inning, doesn't give up anything. He hit a batter, but that was it. No 1 strikeout, no walks, no runs, no hits. And I think it's safe to put the X right there for California, as they are up 13-5. And the Brew Crew has committed 2 errors in the game. California has yet to commit an error. I'm sorry, no, they have 1 error. They have 1 error. All right, so Mike Cook coming back out, and he'll be facing Cooper, Swain, and Brock. Last chance for the Brew Crew. Cooper, Swain, and Brock. Top of the 9th, 13-5. And I think the Brewers were up 5-3. That's a 2-9 for Cooper, and that's a single. So Cooper gets the base hit. Brings up Swain. Five, 7. Switch hitter batting left. That's an in-home run chance, 1-7. That's a 10. It'll be a double for Dale Swain. But down by so much and Cooper doesn't run well, they will keep Cooper at third base. So second and third, nobody out for Greg Brock. Infield is back, obviously. They need outs. 6-8, and that's a single to right field. So that will score Cooper. And Swain will stop at third. Now 13-6. Here is Bill Schroeder. 4-4. That's a ballpark single check. It is 1-5, and that's a 4. So that's a single. That will score the run. Put runners at first and second. And now Cook may need some relief. And Donnie Moore, the right-hander, loosening in the Angel bullpen. Here's Jimmy Gantner. He's reached every single time. 3 singles and a hit by pitch. 2 runs are in. It is now 13-7. 2-6 for Gantner. That's a pop out to short for the first out of the inning. And we're back to the top of the order for Molitor. That's a 6-9 on Cook, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. That'll bring up Robin Yount. Donnie Moore about ready to come into this ball game. Cook to Yount. 4-9. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Schofield. He's a 2E12. 2E12. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3 is a single 2 stars. 2 and a 3 is a single 2 stars. So it's a 2-run single for Schofield. It's going to move, I'm sorry, for Yount. And it's going to move Molitor to third. See about an error on Schofield. He's an E12, which means he has to avoid 3, 15, and 18. And that's a 15. There'll be an error on top of that. E12, shortstop, a 15 is sitting right here. So that's going to be an error added on to that. So that means Molitor is going to actually score on the E6. And going to second on the E6 is Yount. So 4 runs are in the inning. It is now 13-9. And things are getting serious. So Mike Cook is out of there. They tried to get him to finish the game, but he just couldn't do it. And so now they will bring on Donnie Moore. It's not a save situation yet, but they don't want it to get that far. So Donnie Moore will be coming on. Try to nip this in the bud. Glenn Braggs is your batter. 4 runs are in. It's 13-9 with a runner at second and only 1 out. That's a 6-9. That's a ground ball shortstop X. We're right back at it again with with Schofield. He's a 2. 2 and a 14. 2 and a 14 is a G1. So the runner on second will have to hold. But again, that E12, he's got to avoid 15, 3, 15, and 18. And that is a total of 12, so he's good on that one. So that's 2 away, and it's down to Rick Manning, who came in for Deere, for the injured Rob Deere. Rick Manning only hits 228. Let's see if we got a pinch hitter that's better. I'm sure they do. They're going to bring in B.J. Surhoff to pinch hit for Manning. And if it goes to the bottom of the 9th, it'll be a miracle, and they'll find somebody to play left field. Right now, Surhoff will pinch hit. So Surhoff pinch hitting here in the top of the 9th against Donnie Moore. Runner on second, 2 outs. 6'10", left-handed hitter, and another ground ball shortstop X. We're going back to Schofield again. He's a 2. 2 and a 5. He should get to that. 2 and a 5. He does. It's a G3 pound, but nobody's being held on, so it'll be a good play as long as there's no error. Again, with the E12, the numbers to avoid: 3, 15, and 18. And he does. So he gets through it, and an eventful inning for Schofield, but he gets out of it now. without any more errors, but 4 runs in the ninth for the Brewers makes the final score 13-9. Let's see, Donnie Moore is going to come in and get 2/3 of an inning and get 2 groundouts to short to end it. Cook in a very rough spot. Let's see, 1 walk, 2 walks, and 4 hits. 4 hits, or is it 5 hits? 1, 2, 3, 5 hits. 5 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. He did strike out 2, but he did give up all 4 of those earned runs. And he's going to go 1 1/3 innings. So the winner is Candelaria. And Candelaria, with that win, he gets his first win of the season, now 1-2. So Candelaria with the win will be 1-2. And taking the loss is Ciardi. He is now 2-1. So let's get the totals here. I've got the Angels for 13 hits, and I got the Brewers for 16 hits. This is unofficial, of course. 9 runs, 16 hits, and 2 errors for Milwaukee. 13 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error for the Angels. Candelaria the winner, Ciardi the loser. Angels improved to 9-12. Brewers fall to 14-5. Oh, it was 5 runs. I take it back. You were correct. You are correct, Ben. Thank you for catching that. It was 5 runs. So it's actually 13-10. So Cook's going to have 5 runs against his ERA in that 1 1/3. All earned. So there we go, 13-10. Good catch. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, I want to put it in. I'm going to enter it in the computer, so I want these players to have the accurate stats. So I do appreciate that. Obviously, in this kind of game, your concentration can weigh from you. And like I said, it's going to be real fun entering all this stuff in the Strat computer, because when the computer conked out, I was entering the game as I was playing it, but once it conked out after the 3rd inning, it froze up, so I got to redo everything, and it's going to be a mess. So, but that's what's half the fun, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. In a sick way, you can call it fun. So, Brewers start out the season red hot. Now they're down to 14-5, so they're coming back to earth. And let's see what it does for the standings. Brewers are now 14-5. So if I look at the standings for the league, in the American League East, Yankees are 14-6, so they're only a half game back now of the Brewers. Toronto's only 13-6, so they're only a game back, and they're tied in the loss column. Or I'm sorry, they're 1 game back total 13-6 versus 14-5. So they're coming. Toronto and New York are right on the Brewers' heels. California with the win gets out of last place. They improve to 9-12, tying Seattle for next to last. They shift Minnesota to last, who's now 8-12. So that's game 137. It's in the books. The next game will be 138 and will be at April 29th. It will be the White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. Rich 280Z Dotson against Greg Swindell. And that will probably be Saturday evening. But Saturday around sometime between 11 and noon will be the 1990 Cincinnati Reds taking on the New York Mets in History Maker Baseball from Shea Stadium. It'll be Tom Browning against Frank Viola. It's the first game of a long road trip that the Reds are going to have, going to New York, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. So that's going to do it from here. Sorry about the freeze up there where the internet froze up a little bit, but it was just a wacky game all the way around. So I guess it kind of fit. So, and when each leadoff hitter led off the game with home runs, that's kind of did it as well. And of course, I couldn't get that cycle because Downing was too hard for him to get a triple. So he's not the guy you want to get a cycle with. Probably, out of all these guys, probably Milder is probably the guy who would be closest for me to getting a cycle for. But it'll happen one of these days, I guess. Eventually, we shall find out. But anyway, thank you all for. I'm shocked that 20 of you are still hanging around in a blowout game like this, but I do appreciate it. And that helps keep me going, knowing that people are watching this and at least find some form of enjoyment out of it. So that's good from here. For those that ordered the Strat season, I hope your season gets here shortly. But again, be patient. I know Strat is not the best in the customer service area. I don't know their operations. I don't know their shipping. I don't know if they're using UPS, FedEx, or the U.S. Mail. I don't know, what order they take the orders and fill them. So I don't know anything that goes on up there. But just be patient. You will eventually get your order. It just may not be the day that you want it. You might get it on a Tuesday instead of on a Saturday or something like that. But it'll get there. You'll live. You won't die. Nobody's ever died from waiting on a Strat order. So, but you got to realize that when you're dealing with Strat, that's the kind of thing you deal with. So, but we love the game so much, we put up with the crap because we love the game so much. So, just the way it goes. If they were, a couple of different companies I can think of, you'd probably had your order a week ago. But that's just the way it is. In fact, most game companies put out their 2024 season in the year 2024, not when it's spring training already and you're looking forward to 2025. To me, 2024 is a blur now. Why would I go back and play that? I'm ready for a new season now if I'm into modern baseball, which I'm not. So anyway, another mini rant. Too many rants going on. I probably need to get ready for bed. It's 11 o'clock. That's probably what it is. I'm probably punchy from being up all day, since early this morning. I probably need to get some sleep. And probably tomorrow morning I'll fill this game in the Strat computer and everything will be peachy keen. So again, thank you all for tuning in and being part of the live stream. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.